So I'm from Japan. When I was 4, I decided I wanted to learn piano. My mother was a singer, but she wasn't professional, but she studied it really seriously. And she was crazy into music, classical music. And she was soprano. So we had a kawaii piano, upright piano at home, and I was just messing with it. And I was just really like playing, two keys together, 3 together, and kind of experimenting. So my mother got someone to come to the house to teach me, but I didn't really enjoy the lessons, but I did it anyway. So that was I was 4, and when I was about 9, I decided I want to be a musician. So that was it. And I just decided to go to this kind of study classical music because that was the only thing that was available really. So I didn't have any other option. But then I got to play some more contemporary kind of music that was composed by a Japanese composer when I was about 9 and 10. And that was different experience because suddenly I'm playing something that is different feeling and more connected to here and now. And it was really shocking for me. So that was one thing. And then I started listening to much more different kind of music than classical music. And there's many shocking moments. And I just wanted to be a musician, but I was more interested in composing than performing in a sense. But at the same time, I loved performing. So I wasn't really sure. I went into this classical conservatory in Tokyo. And it was very disappointing and disillusioning experience because it was all about just getting things accurately, faster, stronger, more perfect kind of way. And it was based on competitions and with other people. And that was kind of taking over the whole scene. That's what I felt like anyway. So I got more and more depressed as I progressed in that world. And by the time I finished this conservatoire, which fast forward to when I'm already 21, I felt quite depressed. And by then I was listening to many different kind of music. And what I was playing was still classical music and trying to play classical music in the way that was acceptable and good, but I was listening to lots of jazz, lots of pop music, rock, all sorts of music. When I came to Ireland, it was a form of rebellion, maybe. It was a rebel in a sense. And I could go to somewhere else, like a big cities, to further study music and classical music, but I didn't want to do that. And I had enough with studying music as an art form. I wanted to find out more about music that's about here and now, that's about today and people who are living now. So I wasn't really thinking about jazz or traditional music. I wasn't thinking so much in genre or categorization, or I was trying to. If I did, I wanted to go away from it. So I wanted to come here to just check out and more about just live among the people who are so different. In Japan, I was very tired of being in completely material way of thinking. Everyone is very money-oriented. Around me, anyway. I'm not saying a whole country was like that, but in a sense, it was 80s, 90s in Japan. It was very materialized world. I came here, and all I could see was just very big sky and horizon with nothing, just the horizon. I haven't seen horizon with nothing before. So this was sort of like the way. So I wanted to go back to the starting point and start again and see what happens. So, but then something else happened in my life, and before building any career as a musician or even to be able to speak the language, I decided to have a family. So that's what I got into. So next maybe 15, 20 years, the way I got into the jazz society is that the very beginning was that I played a lot of Ronan's pieces, and because he writes lots of interesting pieces, and it was some of the pieces were like really difficult, but it was very good for me at that time to practice and get it down, and it was really useful. And also I learned a lot from that. So that was maybe my beginning. And also I went to, this is a long time ago now, I went to do some Wednesday class that Tommy was doing in New Park. At that time I was professionally playing as a classical or contemporary classical player, but I wanted to learn. I didn't know what 251 was, so I went to learn with other people, with Tommy, and then Tommy told me we could do a duo together, and let's do a concert. And I had no idea how I was going to do that, but I just said, okay, I'm going to book National Concert Hall. So that was a starting point. Album that's going to be released next is called Glacial Voyage, and this is with Christy Doran. He's amazing guitarist and musician, composer. Last year he came to my house and we just played a duo, and we just improvised without saying anything, and that felt really nice. That felt really great. So he said, okay, let's go to the studio and record. So that's what we did. We just recorded in Wicklow. There's a studio called The Meadow, and we played for a few hours. And I was just grateful to be able to do that. But Chrissy said, that's great, let's release it. This is good. This is good music. We can release this. And so we did some, selecting the pieces. And this is going to be released in April, the 25th of April. Actually, we're going to do a concert in Lucerne as a launching concert. In 2022, I was lucky to have this opportunity to present 3 concerts in the concert hall. And I was able to curate and perform in these 3 concerts. And this was part of the chamber series. So there's 2 series in that same time, I think. The other series was completely classical chamber music. But I was able to do the improvised chamber music series. So I did 3 concerts, and one was with Cora Venus Lunny in violin and Anthony Kelly in field recording. We improvised with the field recording. The project is still going on. And the second one was a duo with Jerry Hemingway. And the third one was a trio with Dominic Pifarelli and Lena Antonovska. And the second concert, some of that was released as album a couple of years ago. And this third one is the one that's going to be released for the first time in May, I think, yeah. So that was a long journey, and it actually there's no editing or anything. It's basically, this was completely improvised. We just met. I knew those people, of course, wonderful, amazing musicians, but it was the first time 3 of us got together. We just met like the day before, and we played together for a couple of hours, and we just went on the stage and improvised. And afterwards, I didn't feel like so good. I felt like I could do this and that. So I left it for a long time. And then I listened back and I thought, it's not bad. The solo album that I made recently, this was, so I've been playing a lot with other people, but small, like usually small ensemble, like trio, quartet, or duos. and I haven't done a solo for a while, so I decided to record something in solo. And I went into the studio 2 days last year, and pretty much I just improvised and I prepared some of the strings in the piano because I like doing that. And I just improvised, and then afterwards I listen back and then pick out the tunes. So it's kind of like just, everything is there, and then I pick up the parts like this, and then think about what this is about, because I didn't know. When I was playing, I was just playing. So it took me some time, but eventually I realized this music is about plants. And that time, or I'm still interested in, of course, and it's an ongoing thing, I started to think a lot about environmental issues, and there's lots of people nowadays doing rewilding and biodiversity and all these kind of things are floating around, of course, and I was thinking about that. And I was always thinking the way I played music is really kind of that approach, rather than trying to grow something, pick out all the weeds and try to grow this beautiful thing or this useful thing. I'm kind of like just letting it grow. And so this is kind of my approach anyway. And I realized each pieces that I made and picked out, they're like weeds. And they are strong, they're resilient. And they survived all of our, intention to kill. And basically, humans, we've been fighting with them for centuries. And did that work? No, they're still here. And it just feels like a good thing to focus on at the moment. We're living in this world at the moment, in this situation. Is so horrifying things going on. I can't just not to mention or not to say or just, I can't just keep going on. I'm making music and this is my work. Okay, that was my way of dealing until maybe this year. But I feel like that's not enough. But I don't have the answer to it. I don't know what to do, rather than keep doing what I'm doing and with sincerity and trying to do my best. But at least I need to clarify where I am, where I stand. And the last one is a duo with Jerry Hemingway, and we recorded this last summer, and actually we're very proud of this one. I think it's interesting music and sounding good. It's being mastered at this moment, so it's not going to be released like next week, but probably, hopefully, by the time we tour in June, we have a tour in Canada. So yes, that's what we're working on at the moment. At the moment, what I'm trying to do is trying to get more performance opportunity outside a country, which is not easy at all, but I'm trying to do that, as well as much more sort of like immediate surrounding of where I live, which is Wicklow, and there's not much happening, or actually nothing is happening. So it's a meaningful thing, trying to make some kind of scene or some, let people join what we're doing. So that's the kind of my two focuses is that, so I'm kind of skipping Dublin at the moment. But this is just right now, that's what's happening. This is my own project that I'm doing at the moment. I'm working with a stone sculptor called Helen O'Connell, and she does amazing things with the stones. And I approached her last year in January, just kind of to have a chat. Maybe we could do something together. And turned out that she was really interested in what I've been doing as well. So we immediately decided, okay, we're going to do something. So what we started was that I send her some music that I play and make recording, and she makes something with her stone. But it's more like mark making on a stone. It's not really like making a sculpture. It's to carving on the surface of the stone, and I play music inspired by that. And so we did this kind of back and forth conversation between the stone and music. I think Helen said this. Let's do this live in a live concert setting, and this sounded like a completely crazy idea, of course, but we're doing it. So I invited more musicians like Cora Vince-Lodi, for example, and also Anthony Kelly, who is a sound artist. So we're going to use some of the stone sound. Of course, if you can imagine, stone carving is a very rhythmic act, and there's a lot of different kind of rhythms. It's basically like a percussion instrument. Yeah. So we're going to use the sound from the stone carving and improvisation, and do all that on the stage. So this is going to be a bit challenging, of course, with dust going everywhere and all these kind of things. But we've been talking to a venue, which is the Mermaid in Bray. Amazingly, they're really into doing this challenging thing. This is going to be in October, so we still have some time, and I'm working on this at the moment. And it's going to be some projection on the image as well, and also making short film about the project, because it is a conceptual thing. So it would be good to have something like short documentary. So we're working on that at the moment. I'm not a jazz musician, in fact. I'm just in a jazz community, and I'm a musician. I like improvising. But I keep saying in my career, last 15 years, I get called by people as a jazz pianist. And I keep saying to people, I'm not actually a jazz pianist. I'm in a jazz community, and because I love improvising, and this is my life work, it is improvising. And also to be free. So I don't feel like, I can't do this is not my thing, I only do this. I don't want to be that way, but it's always a fight, it's a battle with myself, because I want to be just doing things that I can do well. But somehow I just like to be going out and doing things that I can't do for some reason. So I'm always feeling very uncomfortable. But that's the way it is.